Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Nicole of Smack Happy Design. How's it going, Nicole?
Great. I am doing awesome. How are you?
I'm good. And first of all, thank you so much for joining me here. And I would love to learn a little bit more about your background to start and a little bit more about Smack Happy Design, which, by the way, I love the name. That's a cool name.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I started working with websites back in 1998, before they were the huge thing that they are now. And back in those days, you just had the web person who did like the code, the HTML, the design. And now I feel like a lot of those roles are broken up. You have a visual designer and a UI designer and someone who
Mm.
does the front end and someone who does the back end. So I've seen a huge change in the 27 years since I've started doing this. And I've had my business Smack Happy for the last 17 years. So started in 2008. And I began as a freelancer and I got too busy, realized I needed to hire some people, and then realized that I had no idea how to manage people. So I worked with a business coach and she flipped my world upside down and basically turned me into a business owner. And as it turns out, I actually like being in charge. So it was a really fun journey to uncover that and figure out how to do it all.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's cool that you had this self-awareness to say, hey, this is another skill that I don't know quite yet, and I'm ready to learn it. And a lot of people don't see that, right? It's this whole other thing. Like you got really good at building websites as a freelancer. It's almost like entrepreneurship in general, I feel, is like a video game where you have to fight this boss at the end of each level to get to the next level. And that's the one thing, right? You got to this point where you're fighting the boss. So now I need to go hire people. So you had to figure out how to hire people. And then you get to the next level where you're like, okay, now I have to figure out how to manage people. And it just goes on and on. So that's cool that you hired a business coach. Just out of curiosity, is there something that you can like that this business coach told you that's really stuck with you? Is there one or two things that are like that for you?
Yeah, she had me read a book about hiring and building out a team. And one of the big things that the book was saying was that you need to figure out your culture first before you hire,
Uh,
because if you just hire without thinking about that, then the
yeah.
culture is going to create itself. And once it's
Mm,
been created, it's very hard to change it.
mm,
I actually just took what was in the book for culture. There were like 12 points. I was like, all right, these are really good. I'm just going to start with this and then go from there. And
yeah.
that worked out really well because I have this fantastic team and we all really love working with each other and supporting each other. So I think
Awesome.
that was a really good piece of advice to discover through that book.
Yeah.
And I think the one of the other ones is, I always worry I'm going to get this wrong because sometimes I say stuff backwards. Under promise, over deliver. That's another one that it's a pretty common theme, but
It is, but it's hard to put in practice. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Especially when you're working with a client or a prospect and they want all of these things. You're like, I know I can do that, but I can't say everything right now.
yeah.
In regards to that, you've described your mission as filling the internet with honest and welcoming websites. What does that actually look like in practice?
We don't just create templates. We're not cookie cutter. We're a team of artists. So I believe that we're really good at getting to know our client, their culture, their business personality, their target audience, and bringing that all together to create a site that really represents who they are. Like our goal is to create a site that's like interacting with you in a
Mhm.
way.
Wow, interesting. And so you've been in the website game for a while now, and I feel like back in the day, everybody really needed a website. They started to realize that, okay, I need to have a website. And now, and don't get me wrong, I think websites are still really important, but it's become this thing of, hey, I just need to have like an address online, or I need somewhere I can park my business online. But like really the value is in my socials. Have you seen that shift, or is there anything else that you've seen how websites have shifted?
I think I think they're both still important. Yes, you can just toss up any old website. And if you're just starting out with your business, you're not going to have a lot to invest in it. So just having something there is crucial.
Yeah.
But if your business is the type that does a lot of word of mouth marketing, the first thing that warm introduction is going to do is go check out your website.
Yes. Yeah.
So is the website going to impress them? Is it going to make you look really awesome? If it's just that little placeholder website, it's probably not going
Yeah.
to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the most common mistakes that you see professional service firms make with their websites?
Let's see. You need to have contact info, like a phone number, contact form, email address. Like having a phone number shows helps build trust because it means you're willing to be contacted and called. So that's just a really easy no-brainer one to make sure you have your phone number on there. Having a call to action right there in that first spot you land on, having something clear next step, contact me, learn more, whatever it is, like also crucial. And I think having an about page that shows you, talks about you and who you are, because it's important to people these days to know who they're working with.
Yeah.
So I think that can also go a long way. And some people just dismiss it. Oh, it doesn't matter, but I think it does.
Yeah, I would agree. I think people will almost always look you up. If you're doing something to grow your business, whether that's like cold calling, cold email, you're out networking or whatever it is, even referrals, people will always do their research and look at your website, and that's their first impression of you. You're absolutely right. And so that first impression needs to be really good. And so I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but many professional service firms treat their websites like digital brochures. So how do you help shift that mindset towards something more strategic?
I think it's a matter of learning a little about their processes and how the website fits into their sales and marketing processes. Because there are things you can do to make a site way more engaging. You're offering some sort of white paper. We're all familiar with the PDF download where you have to hand over your email address. Some of us may be tired of it, but it still works, especially if you're giving them something really good and juicy to
Yeah.
work with.
Mhm.
And if you have a simple brochure website, like bare minimum, that's a really good little piece of engagement that you can add to it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in regards to your clients, I know that you emphasize working with nice people, and I'm curious, how has that affected the way that you grow and run your business?
Great question. So remember I mentioned those culture points earlier. Once I started building out the team, we took some time to redefine and fine tune those culture points. And everything we do is guided by those culture points. So if we need to hire someone or fire someone, whether that's a team member or a client, if we're not sure what to do, we look to those culture points to give us the answer.
Nice. Okay. Wow. Are you, just out of curiosity, are you guys an EOS company?
Not officially. We have dabbled in it, learned about it,
Yeah.
and used some of the tools from that.
Okay, cool. Because I was part of an EOS company before, again, not officially. Our
Yeah.
CEO was a big fan of that. And I that part always resonated with me that your core values as a company, you hire, fire, promote, and you also bring on clients and decide to fire clients based on your core values. Are they fulfilling those? And so then you begin to realize that there's this internal culture and almost like an external culture. Just like there's an external pipeline of like leads and all that stuff, there's an internal pipeline of who you're going to hire and all of that. And I think the more closely they are together, the easier it is to run your business. And I would say, I'm sure for you, working with nice people is just more fun. And I think people get burnt out, especially in the agency world, when they're saying yes to everybody. It sounds like you guys don't typically say yes to everybody. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Mm.
Yeah. We're fortunate to be in a place where we can say no to clients that we think won't be a good fit.
Yeah. So you also offer ongoing marketing support. How do you ensure that your clients' websites don't just launch and go stale?
We can't always, because sometimes our clients don't have the budget
Mm.
to put a lot of money into marketing. However, we do try to set them up for as much success as possible. Once the site launches, we give them like a little guide on like how to promote the website, how to tell everybody some ideas for what to do around that. One of the fun things that we haven't actually got to try yet is to have a launch party for your website, whether that's virtual or in person. You can invite all of your clients and have some drinks or snacks, or if it's online, you can just give them a little tour through the website, tell them about your new services or if there's some new process or something. It's a great way to spread the word.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I haven't really thought of that before. And it's just it's a good way, good reason to get together at the very least.
Yeah.
So, with so many DIY website tools out there, what is the main reason a client still needs a partner like Smack Happy?
I would equate it to, I'm going to go with a car enthusiast. You can go and buy a very simple, no frills used car just to get around because it gets you around. Or one of the ways to look at cars is that they're like a status symbol or there's like a luxury aspect to it.
Right.
And if someone sees you driving around in that luxury car, they might think, oh, you have more wealth or you're more important in some way. So getting a website from a company like ours is more like getting the luxury car.
Hmm. Okay.
You're going to be guided through the whole process. It's not just going to be some template that you can grab off the internet. It's not going to be one of the things with the new DIY websites and like the oncoming AI is that it's just regurgitating everything that's already out there. It's not going to be as creative. And we'll also think of things that if you're trying to build it yourself with the DIY website, you're just not going to think of those things because we've got over 20, 25 years of experience doing this.
Wow, that's a good point. Especially as a business owner, I feel like you're just so tunnel vision in your business. Sometimes it takes that outside view to come in and say, hey, I know this is what you think your brand is about, but this is what your brand is actually about. And I could see a huge value in hiring a company like Smack Happy. And Nicole, this has been so informative. This has been great. I've loved learning about your business. Where can people learn more about you and where can people learn more about Smack Happy?
Sure. So our website is smackhappy.com. It's spelled just like it sounds. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, Nicole Hanusek, and we've actually gotten a lot more active on LinkedIn recently with the Smack Happy business page as well. And we're actually just starting our own, I'm not sure what to call it, like a LinkedIn Live where we're having discussions about websites, website maintenance and things. So we're just launching that now too.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks again for being on, Nicole. This was great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.